Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that the date everyone has been screaming about, arguing over, hyping, and obsessing about was never what you thought it was in the first place. That's exactly what's happening right now with November 22nd, 2025. This date has spread through PI network communities like wildfire. People are treating it as the long-awaited moment when PI finally explodes onto exchanges. But the truth is far more shocking than any listing rumor, and most pioneers have absolutely no idea what this date really represents. By the time you finish listening to this, you're going to understand something most of the PI community is still completely blind to. This date has nothing to do with a PI listing. It's connected to something far bigger, something that reaches into the heart of the global banking system, something that could decide the future of digital currencies for years to come. Before anything else, you need to hear this clearly. PI's open mainnet already launched in February. Yes, the moment everyone was waiting for already happened months ago. The wall around the enclosed network came down, millions of pioneers completed KYC, balances migrated, and the ecosystem began shifting into real-world development and utility. So if you've been sitting there thinking November 22nd is the day PI officially goes live, you've already missed the truth. What's coming on that date is not a launch. It's a global financial transformation that PI may be positioning itself to align with, and only a few people truly understand how powerful that is. November 22nd, 2025 is the final global deadline for banks and financial institutions to migrate to ISO 2022, a new international financial messaging standard that is replacing the ancient SWIFT MT system. This upgrade isn't small. It's not cosmetic. It's the biggest change in global finance in decades. It's the difference between sending money using outdated technology and stepping into a world of lightning-fast, transparent, secure financial communication. This standard supports richer transaction data, enhanced fraud detection, better compliance, faster processing, and improved cross-border communication. And for PI Network, this is where everything gets interesting. For weeks, thousands of creators across YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and X have been hyping November 22nd as a magical listing date. People shouting that PI will suddenly appear on every exchange. People mixing speculation with excitement and creating confusion that spreads faster than the truth. But they're confusing two completely different events. One is PI's open mainnet, which already happened. The other is this global migration to ISO 2022, a system that moves trillions of dollars every single day. These creators aren't lying on purpose. Most simply don't understand what's really happening. Here's what almost nobody is talking about. PI Network seems to be positioning itself to align with ISO 2022 in the long term, following a path similar to major digital assets like XRP and XLM. And if that alignment happens, three massive doors open for pioneers around the world. First, global legitimacy. Imagine banks, governments, and institutions no longer laughing at PI or treating it like a random mobile mining project. Imagine PI being seen as a credible digital currency capable of operating in the same financial language used by the world's largest payment networks. Second, integration becomes possible. Not guaranteed, but possible. PI could eventually link with banking systems, fintech platforms, remittance services, and merchant infrastructures that rely on ISO standards. That means real-world payments, real-world transactions, and real-world functionality. Third, it unlocks scalability. ISO 2022 supports structured, rich, detailed transaction data. That means PI could support everyday financial use in ways that would make it relevant beyond just hype or speculation. This is where the misunderstanding becomes dangerous. November 22nd isn't PI's launch day or listing day. It's a point in time when the global financial system upgrades to something that PI may eventually align with. It represents a shift in the world's infrastructure that could make PI's long-term vision possible. Not today. Not overnight, but in a gradual, strategic, sustainable way. And that matters more than any sudden listing. When that date arrives, banks worldwide will be speaking the same financial language PI wants to speak. Governments could begin to recognize digital assets that follow these global standards. Adoption could grow at a pace grounded in reality instead of hype. And for the first time, the door to legitimate cross-border use could slowly begin to open. Now, let's be completely honest. This date isn't about PI launching anything. The PI core team has never confirmed it as a release. They've repeatedly warned pioneers to avoid fake dates, misleading rumors, and manufactured hype that leads people into disappointment or scams. Assigning a listing date is dangerous. It creates unrealistic expectations and fuels manipulation. The real work of PI Network is much more patient and much more strategic. It's about expanding the community, increasing KYC completion, developing real utility, establishing partnerships, building value that lasts, and aligning with global standards that can support real mainstream adoption. Right now, thousands of voices online are shouting that November could mark the moment PI becomes globally recognized or fully interoperable. But the truth is more grounded and more meaningful. PI isn't chasing headlines. It's preparing for a future where it can operate within the world's financial architecture instead of outside it. The alignment with ISO 2022 could become PI's bridge into the global financial system. But bridges take time to build. They require engineering, stability, regulatory clarity, and real-world execution. And this is where we all need to stay grounded, that if PI truly commits to aligning with global banking standards, that's a long-term play. A serious play. Not one built on hype, but on strategy. It means the core team isn't trying to pump the project for quick gains. They're trying to build something that could stand for decades. And that's why I'm cautiously optimistic. Not blindly hopeful. Not unrealistic. Just watching the pieces fall into place. But I also have concerns. Alignment alone means nothing without execution. It doesn't matter how beautiful the roadmap sounds. What matters is delivery. The world has seen thousands of crypto projects make big promises and collapse because they couldn't deliver. So the question is simple. Will PI execute? Will they follow through? My personal advice is this. Hold on to your PI, but keep your expectations realistic. Don't go all in on dreams. Support the ecosystem when you can. Use PI where real utility exists. Contribute to the community. But never gamble your entire financial future on any single project. The potential here is real, but it's not guaranteed. The ISO alignment could become a turning point, but only if PI's team executes with precision and clarity. That I'm holding my PI not because I expect to become wealthy overnight, but because I believe there's a chance this project could become something transformative in the next few years. Something that plays a real role in how the world sends money, makes payments, and interacts with digital currencies.